I wanted to jump on here real quick and answer a question that we get pretty frequently. But I pay my house off early. To answer that properly, I have to say I think it's situational. I think it's something to that individual. We would need to dive a little deeper, I think, into their finances to determine whether that makes sense. We have to understand what are we giving up and what could we possibly be gaining. What I will say is, though, from my personal opinion, it would be a mistake to do that. I think that there's more opportunities by not paying down the mortgage quickly versus doing that. In the last, let's say 2, 5, or 10 years, if you were buying a house, you were getting an incredible interest rate, very low, somewhere around 3%, let's say. That's pretty cheap money. Let's just assume you have a 3% mortgage and it's $2,000 a month. And you say, I'm gonna throw an extra $2,000 at it. I'm gonna double the payment, or I'm gonna triple the payment. I'm gonna throw an extra $4,000 a month at it and try to knock it down as quickly as possible. I would say, what could that $2,000 or $4,000 do for you if we invested it properly? In that specific instance, I would say it doesn't make sense to pay down the mortgage. Let's invest alongside and let's grow the money. And if we can create the arbitrage, earn 6%, while paying a 3% interest rate, we've done well. We've created some additional cash flow that we can now use. Another part of that is flexibility and access. Let's just assume you're paying down the mortgage and you lose your job. You have all this equity tied up in your house, but you can't necessarily unlock that equity now because you're unemployed. None of the banks are gonna want to loan to you while you don't have an active income to pay back whatever that new mortgage payment is. But if you were doing this in an investment account alongside the mortgage, for whatever amount of years it's been, you have access. You can get into that money within days or less. The access point is important. Why would you want to tie up capital? I wouldn't. I'd want to have that capital to invest in my business or in myself because I think that the rate of return there is greater than all of them. You can create something unique, bring something to market. You can't really quantify what the rate of return is per se by investing in yourself or launching that business that you've thought about or that side business. So keeping cash on hand, I think, trumps the idea of just reducing the debt of the mortgage and eliminating just this payment. I think that's too narrow focused. I do also believe that things are changing slightly. If you're just buying a house for the first time, yeah, interest rates are a little bit higher than they have been in quite some time. So that would be a question that we would want to dig into based on what does it look like for you in the next, say, like 5, 10, or 15 years. And does it make sense because interest rates now are somewhere north of 5, 5.5, maybe even 6%. It does change a little bit as interest rates rise, but looking backwards for those who have mortgages that are locked in at, let's say, 3 or less than 3, I think you can do much better by investing. If you have more questions, we encourage you to get in touch. Thank you.